What's up, guys? It's Crash, and I want to talk to you guys about the potential of Titanfall 3. Now, I know this seems to come up a couple times every year, and people talk about player numbers in Titanfall 2, and it just seems like this happens every once in a while. But this time, it feels a little bit different. I want to talk to you guys about why. So if you haven't seen, Titanfall 2 has in fact seen a pretty big bump in numbers. And what happened this time, Respawn Entertainment kind of did a stealth patch where they fixed the servers and matchmaking. They did so quietly, but on top of that, there was also some patch notes, and they also started the rotating game modes again and just made the game kind of active again back when it was in its main life cycle. So that was really interesting, but it goes even a little bit farther than that. In the patch notes, there was also a teaser code that was deciphered to be the release dates of Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2, and Apex Legends. Now, it just feels like something is happening within the Titanfall universe. We're not exactly sure. And I know there is that little bit of a voice in the back of my mind that says this could just be a crossover event with Apex Legends. But as someone who has listened to and covered the last several EA calls over the last couple of years, I've noticed a little bit of shift in their dialogue. We know that when Apex Legends came out, they went ahead and made a statement from Respawn Entertainment that they are shelving the Titanfall franchise for now. So a lot of Titanfall fans were pretty upset about that, where it sounds like we're not getting the next Titanfall game for a really long time. But things have kind of shifted in those. And as someone who listens to those every time, I can definitely tell something could be happening in the Titanfall universe. And what I mean by that is when they're talking about Apex Legends, this was kind of the first time this last earnings call, they talked about how Apex Legends didn't quite meet the growth that it had been. And then something incredibly interesting that not a lot of people are talking about was said towards the end of the earning calls by Laura Miele, who is the president of EA Entertainment Technology and Central Development. And for those of you guys playing at home, you might recognize that name. That is the lady that said Battlefield 2042 is way ahead of schedule. So take this entire thing with a grain of salt because we know how reliable she is. But anyway, what she said, and I do quote, "We see really strong potential in further storytelling in additional modalities in genre play. Remember, Apex is set in the Titanfall world. There's a lot of demand and interest in this universe." So potentially this could be them with that stealth patch, fixing Titanfall 2 with those high player numbers. This could be them testing the market, testing to see if that buzz and excitement is still there for Titanfall 2. But this is a little bit of a shift from EA, from we are shelving it for now to now we know that there is interest in the Titanfall world. So it's kind of awakening just a little bit. We feel things changing and moving. I know it's incredibly early. We might not hear anything for a long time. This could be a nothing burger, but this time it just feels a little bit different. And why these player numbers are really interesting as well. The ones I showed you where they're hanging around 14 to 15,000. Last week, they were hanging around the 20,000 mark. Is the game was on sale for 90% off, but not even on Steam. These are only Steam numbers. The game, you could get the Ultimate Edition for $2.99 over on the EA app. So you have to think that quite a few new players are also playing as well. I did hop in. I was able to find a match right away, and it was really cool to see this game active again. And it makes me think, could a Titanfall type game survive in today's FPS climate? That is the biggest question that I've kind of arrived to when thinking about what would happen with a Titanfall 3. Is it unique enough to survive? Because I feel like the FPS community has kind of shifted from those arena respawn type shooters. I think they get old really fast for people. They need more stake. That's why you start to see extraction shooters, BR shooters, round-based shooters like Valorant, CSGO, Rainbow Six, all those one life type modes are still holding players, whereas like the 6v6 arena shooters, even things like Battlefield, where it's a respawn type shooter where you just, shoot, die, run around, just keep doing that cycle over and over. Would a Titanfall 3 be different enough with the Titanfall game loop and all that stuff with the big mechs and fighting? Would that be enough to keep people going and to keep it active and working and the game to be a success with a lot of people? I don't know. It would be incredibly interesting to see. Would Titanfall 3 do some kind of one life type mode or an extraction shooter? I don't know. The storytelling stuff is there because the Titanfall 2 campaign was awesome. There are just a lot of questions, and it's really fun to think about for me if Titanfall 3 would survive in today's climate, because I feel like I said, like that 6v6 arena shooter respawn mode, minus the one life bomb modes like search and destroy and stuff, are just really not hitting with the FPS community right now. So I wonder if they're doing that kind of research or whatever, but it is still exciting because Titanfall 2 really didn't get the love that it deserved falling in between Call of Duty and the release of Battlefield 1. It kind of got smothered by those giant titles, and it just is a buttery buttery smooth FPS game. If you haven't played it and it still is on sale, I highly recommend checking it out because you can find matches right now. It appears where they also put in a question mark type mode that appears to be going to rotate through. This one's with a bunch of rocket launchers, and they're doing some different kind of rotating modes right now. So the game is incredibly active. Again, if you want to try it out and see for yourself, I highly recommend it because like I said, guys, I cannot think of another arena shooter out right now that is just absolutely buttery smooth when it comes to movement and gunplay as Titanfall 2. But anyway, guys, that got me thinking. I wanted to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Would you like to see a Titanfall 3? I'm assuming the answer is yes. But on top of that, do you guys think it would survive in today's FPS climate? Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you on the next one.